Hello, Internet. The cold months are upon us and cuffing season is here. Cuffing is defined as a period of time where single people begin looking for short-term partnerships to pass the colder months of the year. So, with cuffing season upon us, let's maybe have a head-to-heart about heart-to-hearts and relations and how they are maybe the best and possibly most warped way to see yourself reflected back to you. And having this year's end just crawled towards us all, what a time to reflect. Intimacy. Intimacy is a word you hear a lot when you're what this generation calls an emotionally distant person, or what the older generation would call just a little fucked. It's a word that has a power to it, a Star Wars-like force, if you will. And like the force, there's different shades to it, a lighter side and a side where a stranger in a mask makes you call him your daddy before trying to touch lightsabers together. It's a word that can separate people into two distinct groups like anti-vaxxers, cilantro lovers, or who was the best Becky on Roseanne. Intimacy to one group might feel comforting, like those comforting head massages at a salon, or those weighted thunder vests to a shitty pet. Intimacy to another group might feel like an unwanted touch from someone that they don't know, or someone that they do know, but they're the kind of person that has a super long pinky nail and thumb rings. Intimacy can be like the list of Epstein's friends, a powerful and powerfully fucked up thing, but the need or want of it is in everyone's being, either right on the surface or deep, deep below, dictating emotions, persuading thoughts and actions, and it's what level of passiveness or strength we give it that can push away or pull towards someone. And it's always there, intimacy, invisibly working and giving us info. It's like a Wi-Fi signal, and just like Wi-Fi when it's down or feeling sluggish, I do often call for a sexy man dressed in a uniform to come to my home and help me get it up. Attraction is strange too, man. No one chooses what does it for us, and we don't get to pick out our kinks. If you don't believe me, just ask this guy. Attraction is possibly instilled in us as kids, witnessing couples coupling a faulty and referenced blueprint of love, showing the best and maybe more apparent the worst of the attributes witnessed are now evidence of how we accept others to come into our life or why we choose for them not to. Attraction is also seldom truly balanced. When one pulls, the other gives slack, and vice versa. It's that push-pull paradox. Push-Pull Paradox was also a sweet-ass emo band in the early 2000s, but that tug-of-war, we all see it, especially or maybe only when we look to other couples. We all can be great friends and counsel to our best buds, but turning that sight onto ourself is the trick, seeing ourself and attempting to change. It's like the engine light flashing on your car's dash, man. We know it needs to be looked at by a professional. Because we ain't no mechanic. We tend to have no real understanding how our own vehicle works and less understanding on how to fix it up, tuning it up, making it a smoother ride for ourselves, but more importantly for our partners, the ones sitting shotgun. And maybe that's what shrinks are. An emotional mechanic looking under the hood of your heart, which is weird because when I asked my shrink for a lube job and oil changed, I was punched in the mouth. The sad fact is how most of our challenges with others is rooted in our own shit, which makes sense given a plant's relation to fertilizer. It's always our own shit that bleeds into what we want others to be, to change into, to suit our life, and that will all come falling down sometime. We give into fears of things that haven't even happened. Our life's own self-made movie can be like a sad-ass Minority Report sequel where we are the precogs to things that haven't even happened. Fear of the maybe is a prison. We gotta cut fresh. I know a big thing for women is that all men are dogs and sheep, but then why are 90% of the dudes on Maury not the father? People tend to be as faithful as their options. We are all flawed. I mean, who's truly comfortable? Just look at how we all even dress. It seems that what's the opposite is what equals beauty nowadays. Some of the most expensive clothes have rips in them. People that don't have a lot of scratch keep the tags and stickers on their shit so it's looking fresh out of the shop. Skinny ass people wearing baggy ass shit. Who's truly comfortable in the mirror? And then we take all of that with us into relations with people we think we love. On top of all that surface shit, we tend to give more mental real estate of what's happened in our life's past and what's in front of us today. More interest in people from yesterday's words than the person right now talking to you. We are more concerned in the Rotten Tomatoes rating of our life's prequel than writing a new and rad trilogy for ourselves to play out. Maybe blowing up into a franchise. Of course, babies are like reboots. You know where I'm going with all this. We all desire to feel like we have found that one, though. I get that. The one that can see your worth, especially when you can't. A wedge in your stubborn heart. An emotional shoehorn that can show you with the right angle, time, and pressure those new kicks can fit if you want them to. And once they do, you never want to leave the house without them. If you find that one, tell them that, man. You can't hide your cards close to the chest with that. This ain't solitaire now. It's more like blackjack because you better be hitting 21. It's been said that 90% of relations started under 30 years old end. 55% of all marriages end. And yet it's so looked down upon by people when you speak about how the cons can outweigh the pros in relations. Why? If driving your car had the same stats for head-on collisions, how often would you go out cruising? I'll always feel it's better to be alone than annoyed. Because we have all romanticized the idea of romance. People are sometimes more in love with the idea of love than the person they are with. I'm not saying it's impossible to find true love. I'm saying statistically, you haven't. So during this cuffing season, I say, stay single. Stay single until you are appreciated. Take all mixed signals as a no and realize, really try and make yourself know that you are too rad for anyone to be unsure about. We'll see you next time.
This is Stranger Radio saying, adios, amigo.